Welcome, my name is Relic, and I am an Eternity Spider-Man. I peaked at Eternity 182, all on Spider-Man only. I have like 300 plus hours of Spider-Man since the alpha. I consider myself a bit of an expert when it comes to all things Spider-Man. I'm not going to be talking about changing the auto swing setting. I'm assuming you already know this stuff. You've gotten a bit into your Spider-Man journey already. So here are 11 niche tips for Spider-Man. Starting with number 1. Pull people towards you, don't always go to them. When you go to an enemy, most likely they are surrounded by their teammates. So when you go to them, you put yourself into way more danger than if you pull them to you. We all know the bread and butter combo. It's juicy, it's nice, but it puts you in way more danger than if you learn some pull combos. And the absolute best one is the yo-yo combo. I highly recommend learning that one because doing a combo on them in the air, right above their team, we all know people in this game do not look up. Learn the yo-yo combo. Highly recommend it. But just the act of pulling them away from their team in general is a good practice. You should do that. Because even if you don't get the kill, now they have to go all the way back to their team. This can apply to tanks as well. Like not even trying to kill them. Your goal is just be annoying. Pull them far away from their team. And now they have to go all the way back. So just pull people away from their team. Try to kill them, but you don't have to. You already got your value. They're away from their team now. There's a couple pull combos that you can learn that I do. Let me show you some of my pull combos now. So this is the first pull combo. The second combo is this. That's another combo. An important thing to note to do this combo, first things first, is you want to go into the settings on Spider-Man. You want to go down to simple swing. You don't want simple swing on, never have it on. You want to put it on a button. I have it on X. I don't know why I have it on numpad 3 as well. Ignore that. But I have it on X. You can put it on whichever button you want. I prefer X though, but you need to bind it to something because part of this combo, the reason you use an auto swing is because you get a slam. And slams do more damage than just a normal punch. That's why it's important in this combo. Now obviously you're using a swing, so if you don't have a lot of resources, like you don't want to use your last swing with one of these combos. You want to try to have some leeway in the amount of swings you have. But the combo is basically you pull, left click, right click, auto swing, right click, and then uppercut. You right click, left click, right click, and then get a slam. And that's it. That one's way more simpler and more fun. I like doing it more, but obviously you have to hit them with the right click first. And then pull, left click, right click, auto swing, slam. And then they're instant dead. This is the yo-yo combo. You swing up, you pull, right click, uppercut, right click, left click. Tip number 2. Always look for environmental kills. There's a lot of maps in this game where you can pull people off the map. There's a lot of them. Way more than you might think. Even on some really bad maps where you don't think you can, something like Clintar, there is that spot on the first point, right out of spawn door, where you could pull somebody off. It's hard to pull off, but it exists. You get the point. You can pull them off on so many maps. Spider Islands, Central Park, and Araco are the 3 absolute best I can think of off the top of my head. Araco's only good on the first point, but it is really good for the first one. The absolute best one, I think, would be Spider Islands. Number 2 is Central Park. I think Central Park is an overall better Spider-Man map, because not only do you have a lot of spots to pull them off, just the way the map is designed feels better and more natural for Spider-Man personally, but both are great maps. Pulling someone off the map is ridiculous amount of value because you just kill them instantly. No combo, no hitting 50 buttons. No, they just instantly are out of the battle. Tip number 3. See vertical and reset often. What do I mean by this? Well, be above them. Be the Spider-Man or the Batman, if you will, who looks over the battlefield a lot of the time. Just be above them. See what's going on down there. Who's vulnerable? Who's separated from their team? Who can I go for among their team? This is a very important thing to do. A lot of the times, one of the things I will do is I will just swing straight up just to get an overview. Like 1 second I'm on the ground and I'm fighting people doing some combos, and then all of a sudden I just swing. I'm not even swinging away from them, like running away from battle. The reason I do this is so I can get a good overview of what is going on below. I can see an isolated target over there. I can see Luna's there. That's what I should go for. Or whatever. It's always good to get an overview and be above them as often as you can. Also, sneak around on buildings. Crawl on some walls. Like, be a predator. Like, really look, where are they? Who do I go for here? What's good here, you know? Tip number 4. You need to know when to get out. This is a very important one, and it takes a while to get good at. This is one of those things where it just takes time. Like, you'll just know. You'll know eventually. But basically, when you need to get out completely depends on who you are fighting. If you are fighting a Bucky, the time to get out was like 5 seconds before you even started fighting him, because why are you fighting Bucky? Don't do that. But you get the point. If you're fighting Hela, the point to get out will be pretty quick. The moment she stuns you would be it, but you're most likely dead then too. But you get the idea. When you feel as though you are about to die, you need to get away. Even though Spider-Man gets back really fast, it's not ideal to be dead. You want to die as little as possible, even though you do come back fast. That's more of a pat on the back, like, hey, it's okay, I'll be back fast. Doesn't actually mean dying is good though. So whenever you feel death approaching, recognize it and just go, time to get out. Don't always try to fight for the kill. The kill isn't as important as your own survival. But if you do get the kill, right, that's also a thing. You need to recognize when you can get the kill. If you know you can get the kill, but you might die, it's worth it. It is worth the risk. They might survive with 1 HP and you died. It is what it is. But if you really feel like you can kill them before you die, that's when it's worth trying it. Because if they die and you die, believe it or not, that is good value. It's not ideal. Obviously, you want to kill them without dying, but if they die and you die, that's not bad value. Why? Because you get back faster. Spider-Man gets back the fastest out of any character in the whole game. So it's not bad value to trade. Tip number 5 is play as a team. What I mean by this is your playstyle depends on the comp that you have. More importantly, Venom, or Captain America, or Hulk, or maybe even a Black Panther. Just dive in general. If you're the only dive character, it can be way harder. You're the only one trying to dive them. But if you have a Venom, your playstyle changes. But it's important to note that you can't just play the same way. If you have a Venom, you can't play the same way as normal. Of course you can. You shouldn't, is what I meant to say. You shouldn't. What your job is, when you have a Venom, is you just set up. Be on some wall, hide, and wait. Wait for what? Wait for Venom. Once Venom has gone in, no eyes are on you. They are all looking at the Venom. They are screaming, help me guys, Venom is on me. Someone shoot this guy. He's about to kill me, please help. And just when they're thinking that they might survive the Venom, in comes the Spider-Man. You come off your wall, you swing in, nobody's looking at you. Nobody's looking at you. And if nobody's looking at you, you get free kills. On top of the damage the Venom is already doing, it's a guaranteed kill. That's why Spider-Man Venom went so hard back when the team-up existed. Spider-Man Venom dive is actually really, really good. Don't always play the same way. Try to dive together with your team. Same works with if you have a Black Panther. If you're playing Spider-Man Black Panther, try to coordinate with the Black Panther so you go in at the same time to ensure that the kills are secured. Tip number 6 is change your mentality. If you go into every fight with the mentality of, I'm going to kill this person, then what's going to happen is that that person will most likely not die, but you will. A lot of the times, Spider-Man will not secure the kill. That's just how it's going to be. And if you're engaging every single time with the only goal to secure the kill, you're going to be dying so much. Like I said, you need to know when to get out. Securing the kill is not always the most important part. You can make space in so many ways. Just by being annoying, just by harassing them, just by putting the fear of death in their eyes, you've gotten value. So don't always think, I must kill things. The opportunities to kill things will come. Just be patient. Don't always try to kill everybody. Just focus on being very annoying. That leads me to my next tip. Number 7, be annoying. So, this is something that I feel like a lot of Spider-Man players don't do. But I think a lot more should. And that's just be annoying in the way that you wouldn't expect. Like, just swing past them and do an uppercut. You just did 55 damage. That's not going to kill anybody. But what is it going to do? It's going to annoy them. You remind them that, hey, I'm here and I do want to kill you. I will be doing it. You know, you're just constantly like, hey, I'm here. Maybe you pull them once, you do an uppercut, you get out. You swing past them, you uppercut, you get out. Constantly not being able to die because you're always on the move. You're not even committing to anything. So how are they going to kill you? They can't really, because you move too fast. You move too much. So just be a complete nuisance to them. People don't understand how much value you actually get out of that kind of playstyle. Like, just being annoying. Like I said, the opportunities to kill people will arrive. But don't just play to be annoying. Really, just be as annoying as possible. That is the ideal way to play Spider-Man. Tip number 8. Use your ultimate properly. Now, how do you properly use Spider-Man's ultimate? One really good way of doing it is just to bait out support ults, naturally. But this is situational based, comp based. If you have a Star-Lord, for example, let's say they used one support ult. They have one left. You have a Star-Lord, he has ultimate, you have ultimate. You should just jump on the support and ult. Because if they don't have a support ult, Star-Lord kills the whole team. Star-Lord has a way better ult than you do, so you should bait out the support ult. You should also communicate this to your Star-Lord and tell him, hey, I will bait out support ult for you. Because sometimes you might have the same idea at the same time, and then you both use it, and one support ult counters both of yours. That would be very bad. Also, never be afraid to solo ult somebody. For example, if you know they have a support ult, and let's say you don't have a Star-Lord or anybody else with a really good ult that can, you know, use the fact that they don't have a support ult. Don't get me wrong, it's still good value to bait out a support ult, but ideally you want to get some kills with it, seeing as you're the only one with an ult in this scenario. What I would recommend is go back to the pulling method. Pull somebody away, just one person, but a high value person, like a Luna, who doesn't have ult, obviously. Or even with ult. She ults from further away from her team, so she has to go all the way over there. It doesn't matter. You get the point. Just solo with them. Pull them away from their support. That will save them. Maybe do an uppercut. Maybe try to bait out the freeze first, but then just solo ult them. Or maybe the other Spider-Man is about to do a combo on you and he's trying to ego you. No, just solo ult them. Because here's the thing. Let's say they're playing Hela, Mantis, and Luna. They have all three of those. All three of them have a stun. Let's say they also have a bucket. That's 4 stuns. Let's say you try to get an ultimate out. Let's say they don't have a support ult, right? They don't have one. Perfect. Now I can ult them all. So you go in on the Hela, you hit the ult, and you got hit by one of the 4 stuns, or maybe all of them, and then you died. So let me ask you this. What is better value? Getting 1 kill with your ultimate and surviving, or getting stunned and dying? I think it speaks for itself there. There's no shame in solo ulting, is what I'm trying to say. It's not bad value. Getting a kill and surviving, that's always good value. Even if you have to do it with your ultimate, because Spider-Man's ultimate really isn't that good. Yes, you can get a 3k, 4k, whatever. It's possible. But it's situational. That's not always going to be the case. And it's not always the way you have to use your ultimate. There's more creative ways of doing it. If you want to solo ult somebody, just freaking do it. You have my blessing. Especially if it's the other Spider-Man. You gotta show who's boss. Now we come to tip number 9. Play to improve, not to win. Now this is more of a general tip, not Spider-Man specific, but it does apply to Spider-Man. Don't play every game with the intention of winning. Yes, you should be trying your best to win the game. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you should throw your games. Very important distinction there. Try to win, but that should not be your main goal. Your main goal with every game should be to improve. This way, you're not going to get as upset when you lose, because that wasn't your main goal anyway. What does it matter if you lose or win? I mean, if you think about it, losing is even better because that means you made more mistakes. You have more things to learn from. But also, if your main goal is to improve, specifically on Spider-Man, remember that you don't learn anything about playing Spider-Man by swapping Spider-Man. Now, I'm not saying never swap. Sometimes, let's say it's your rank up game. You really want to win the game. Then go ahead, you can swap. But that's only if your main goal becomes winning. If your main goal is to win, then don't even one-trick Spider-Man at all. Just be a flex player. Flex to other things, whatever. Because it just doesn't make sense. If your goal is, if you're playing to win, it doesn't make sense to one-trick Spider-Man, does it? The only reason you would do that is because you want to improve. Maybe you want to be the best Spider-Man ever. You want to improve Spider-Man. That's why you don't swap. If you're not on Spider-Man, you're not improving on Spider-Man. But in general, as a whole, if you're a Hella player, maybe you're a DPS player. For example, if you want to get really good at DPS, guess how you wouldn't improve on DPS? The answer is you swap off DPS. That is not how you learn DPS. Same thing with tank and support. Obviously, I just use DPS as an example because they are usually the ones that will not swap off. I'm trying to maybe make people understand a little bit more why people refuse to swap DPS or refuse to swap their characters. It's just an unfortunate thing of like, yeah, you don't want them on that character. You don't want them on that role. You want them to do something different, but they're on a journey. They are on a journey of improvement, and you're just an unfortunate circumstance of that. Tip number 10, pick your targets wisely. For example, you do not want to be fighting tanks. Don't get me wrong. You can go back and use one of the previous tips of pulling them out of position. That's pretty good. But do not be punching them. Do not be trying to do combos on some tanks unless their entire team is dead and there's no other targets. I feel like this isn't a very niche tip. This is a very duh. But I feel like it has to be said. But not just that. It's also, you gotta ask yourself, who's the biggest threat to you? Obviously, you might think, yes, I should go for the supports, but you also gotta think, who can kill me? Like, if I were to try to go for the support, who might kill me? Hella is one. Hella is the kind of character you kind of need to focus her, but she also fucks you up. Like, she will mess you up. But you also have to focus her. It's the same with Widow. It's the same with Hawkeye. All three of those Poke characters are characters that fuck up Spider-Man. It's weird because Dive should be the one countering Poke, but that's a whole nother discussion. But the point is, they all have CC of some kind. So if you try to combo them, they will stun you, or Hawkeye will just hit you away. And all of these things mess you up because you can't do a combo on them, and it gets rough. Tip 11. Spider-Man duels. Now, this is the most important tip in the whole video because I see so many Spider-Man players get this wrong. They just don't get it. Whenever I go up against another Spider-Man, they always complain that I'm focusing them too hard, that I'm a fan. And that makes no sense because that is in fact how you should be playing it. Let me try to break it down for you. Spider-Man, let's say you want to go for the enemy backline, okay? Put it like that. You want to go and kill the Luna. If the Spider-Man goes for you when you're going for the Luna, you are dead. You cannot do anything. Why? Because you just went on the Luna. You just used your one cooldown that you need to fight Spider-Man. So a smart Spider-Man won't actually be going for your backline as long as you're alive. It's like a game of chicken. Who goes for their backline first? If you go for my backline, I'm going to kill you. If I go for yours, you will kill me. So what happens is you have to duel each other. That's all it is. You can't kill the enemy team until the Spider-Man is dead. That is how Spider-Man works. If you're playing against Spider-Man, that's how it is. That's why playing against Spider-Man isn't really that fun because it changes how you have to play. The greatest counter to Spider-Man is Spider-Man himself. If you're playing against a better Spider-Man and he's focusing you can't really do much. You might as well swap off. You are getting cooked. But a lot of Spider-Man players won't do that. that would be admitting defeat. That would be saying, hey, this guy is better than me. Time to swap off. And Spider-Man players are not going to do that. I've seen some people do it, and it's a great feeling as a Spider-Man player myself to get another Spider-Man to swap off to like Bucky or Namor. That's when you know you've won. So that's my last tip. I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more videos like this one, and let me know if you have any more questions about Spider-Man. I will try my best to answer them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.